All right, so you're thinking about a career as a power plant control room operator. Talk about a job with some serious power. We're here to help you prepare for that all-important interview.
You'll be the one keeping the lights on, literally. No pressure, right?
Well, that's why we're diving deep into a career guide and an interview guide, both packed with insights to help you ace that interview.
And we'll even sprinkle in some tips on how RoleCatcher's AI can give you an extra edge.
First things first, the career guide really stresses the importance of hands-on experience.
Even if it's not directly in a power plant, think about anything you've done that relates. Maybe you've worked with machinery, or even tinkered with electronics as a hobby.
It's all about showcasing those transferable skills. And speaking of skills, networking is huge in this field.
Industry events, online forums, even just reaching out to people already working as control room operators, it can make a big difference.
Absolutely. Learning from those who've been there is invaluable. Okay, ready to tackle some actual interview questions? Bring them on. The first one seems simple, but the interview guide warns against generic answers. What motivated you to become a power plant control room operator?
This is your chance to show you've really thought about this career path.
Don't just say, I like engineering.
Right. Dig deeper. Was there a specific event that sparked your interest? A mentor who inspired you?
Maybe you read an article about renewable energy and got hooked. Tell that story.
And don't forget to connect your motivation to your skills and values.
Do you thrive under pressure? Love problem solving? Are you fascinated by complex systems?
Weave those things into your answer.
Now, on to a question that's all about showing you're safety conscious. How do you ensure the safety of the power plant operations?
This is where knowing those protocols is key.
OSHA regulations, lockout-hagout procedures.
Be ready to mention specifics.
Even if you're coming from a different industry, you can still highlight your safety mindset.
Did you ever implement safety checklists? Train others on procedures?
Those experiences are valuable. And don't forget to mention any relevant certifications.
Something like OSHA 30-hour or first aid CPR can definitely make your resume stand out. Okay, let's move on to question 3. What steps do you take to ensure the efficient operation of the power plant?
This is about showing you understand not just the technical side, but also resource management.
Think about how you monitor equipment, analyze data, troubleshoot issues.
Did you ever implement a process improvement that boosted efficiency? Tell that story.
Those real-world examples are what really grab the interviewer's attention.
So think back to those times you went above and beyond to optimize performance, maybe you streamlined a process or found a creative way to solve a problem.
Those are the stories that show you're not just following instructions, but taking initiative.
All right, on to question 4. It's a bit of a tricky one. What do you consider to be the most important skills for a power plant control room operator to possess?
It's like they're asking you to reveal the secret sauce of success.
Of course, you've got the technical skills. You need to understand power generation principles, electrical systems, all that good stuff.
But don't forget those soft skills. They're just as crucial.
Communication, problem solving, the ability to stay calm under pressure.
Especially under pressure.
Because when the lights flicker in a million homes, you're the one they call.
Exactly.
So think about those times you've had to make quick decisions with limited information, troubleshoot a critical issue, or handle a stressful situation.
How did you stay focused? What strategies did you use to remain calm and effective?
Sharing those insights will show you've got what it takes. Now, onto a question that really gets to the heart of the matter. How do you handle high-pressure situations in the control room?
They want to see what you're made of. And remember, in a power plant, high-pressure situations can have real-world consequences. We're not just talking about deadlines. We're talking about keeping the lights on.
So the guide really stresses the importance of clear thinking, quick decision-making, and sticking to those safety protocols even when things get hectic.
And this is where those stories about handling emergencies, equipment failures, or sudden changes in demand come in handy.
Walk them through your thought process.
How did you assess the situation? What steps did you take?
And don't forget those coping mechanisms.
Do you use checklists? Take a moment to breathe and gather your thoughts.
Sharing those strategies shows you're not just reacting, you're proactively managing stress. All right, deep breaths, everyone. We're halfway through those tough interview questions. Question 6 asks, how do you stay up to date with the latest advancements in power plant technology and equipment? That's a fast-evolving field, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Power plants are incorporating more automation, digital controls, renewable energy sources. It's all changing rapidly.
The interviewer wants to know you're not just comfortable with the status quo. You're excited about staying ahead of the curve.
So how do you do that? Mention any courses or certifications you've taken, conferences or workshops you've attended.
Even just reading trade publications or following industry experts online can make a big difference.
It's all about showing you're curious, that you're actively seeking out knowledge.
Now, onto the regulatory side of things. How do you ensure regulatory compliance in the power plant?
Compliance may not sound glamorous, but it's absolutely vital in this industry.
We're talking about safety, environmental protection, cybersecurity, the works.
So familiarize yourself with key regulatory bodies.
In ERC, the North American Electric Reliability Corporation is a big one.
Be ready to talk about specific regulations you've adhered to. Maybe you implemented a new safety protocol or were involved in an NERC audit.
Even if you haven't worked directly in a power plant, you can highlight your general understanding of compliance procedures and your commitment to following the rules.
It shows you understand the gravity of the job.
Okay, let's talk about keeping things running smoothly with question 8. How do you ensure the reliability of power plant equipment? This is about being proactive, right?
Absolutely. Power plant equipment is complex and expensive to repair. Any downtime can have a big impact.
So the interviewer wants to see that you understand the importance of preventative maintenance, inspections, documentation.
Think about your experience with preventative maintenance programs.
Have you ever developed or implemented one? Maybe you have a knack for spotting potential issues before they become big problems.
And even if you haven't worked in a power plant before, you can draw parallels from other experiences.
Have you managed equipment maintenance in a manufacturing setting? Troubleshoot technical issues in a previous role?
Those experiences show you can keep things running smoothly. And finally, we've reached the leadership question. How do you manage and lead a team in the control room?
It's almost guaranteed to come up, especially since control room operators often work in teams.
Think back to times you've stepped up as a leader, even in informal settings.
Did you ever take charge of a group project, mentor a colleague, resolve a conflict?
Those examples show your leadership potential.
Okay, we've tackled all 9 questions from the interview guide. Whew! Before we move on to more career insights and RoleCatcher, let's take a quick breather.
And while we catch our breath, let's remind ourselves that you're already on the right path just by preparing so diligently for this interview.
That's right. Your dedication speaks volumes. Now let's talk about how to make your preparation even more effective with RoleCatcher. Their AI-powered tools are like having a personal career coach in your pocket.
It can help you tailor your answers to specific job roles, analyze job descriptions to identify missing skills, and even provide feedback on your practice interview responses.
And speaking of feedback, we're going to take a look at some additional tips from the career guide in the next part of this deep dive. We'll explore career paths, professional development opportunities, and maybe even debunk some myths about the job. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Ready for some more challenging interview questions? You know, the kind that really test your ability to think on your feet.
The ones designed to see how you handle the unexpected, make decisions under pressure.
Where your true colors shine through, like this one. Tell me about a time you made a mistake in a high-pressure situation. What did you learn from it?
Not exactly a question that makes you want to jump for joy, right?
It's understandable to hesitate talking about mistakes, especially in an interview. But everyone makes them, and the interviewer knows that. What they really want to see is self-awareness, your ability to learn and grow.
The interview guide suggests being honest and choosing an example that highlights a genuine learning experience.
Don't try to downplay the mistake. Own it. Explain what happened and focus on what you took away from it.
So let's say you were working in a fast-paced manufacturing environment and accidentally triggered a false alarm.
Maybe you misinterpreted a gauge reading or something. You could explain how you followed the emergency procedures, identified the root cause, and then proposed a change to the training program to prevent it from happening again.
That shows you're not just dwelling on the mistake. You're proactive about improvement. Okay, how about this one? Describe a time you had to work with a difficult colleague. How did you handle the situation? Ugh, the classic difficult colleague scenario. We've all been there, right?
The key is to stay positive and focus on the solution, not the problem. Choose an example where you successfully managed a difficult situation.
Highlight those communication skills. Let's say you had a teammate who is constantly dismissive of your ideas.
Oh, I've definitely had those.
You could explain how you approached them privately, expressed your desire for a more collaborative environment, maybe suggested a structured approach to brainstorming where everyone's input is valued.
And how that led to a more positive team dynamic. Okay, teamwork makes the dream work. Right. How about this question? Describe a situation where you had to work as part of a team to solve a complex problem. Teamwork is essential in a power plant control room, especially during emergencies.
This is where you shine as a team player. Choose an example where you played a key role in collaborating and communicating to achieve a successful outcome.
Maybe you were part of a team troubleshooting a recurring equipment malfunction.
You could explain how you contributed to the problem-solving process, analyzing data logs, running diagnostics, researching solutions.
And then how the team worked together to find a solution.
Exactly. Emphasize your role in the team's success.
Even if your previous experience isn't directly related to power plants, you can still draw parallels, like a complex project in a different industry. Those skills are transferable. Now, let's talk about staying ahead of the curve. How do you stay informed about changes in the energy industry?
Because it's a dynamic field. New technologies, regulations, sustainability goals, it's constantly evolving.
So how do you keep up? What are you reading? What conferences do you attend?
Do you follow any industry experts on social media? Maybe you've even got some personal projects exploring new tech or trends.
Like researching renewable energy integration, or AI, in power grid management. Show them you're passionate and proactive. Okay, automation is a big deal in power plants these days. So be ready for this question. Tell me about your experience with control systems and automation technologies.
Think about any experience you have with computer-based control systems, programmable logic controllers, PLCs, or SCADA systems.
SCADA, by the way, is like the central nervous system of a power plant.
It allows operators to monitor and control equipment from a central location. Even if you haven't worked with these specific systems in a power plant, describe your experience with similar systems.
Highlight your ability to troubleshoot, interpret data, adapt to new software. Back to high-pressure situations with this one. Describe a time you had to make a critical decision with limited information. How did you approach the situation? Things can change quickly in a control room, and you won't always have all the information you need.
This question tests your judgment, your ability to prioritize, and your commitment to safety. Choose an example that demonstrates your decision-making process.
So let's say you noticed a fluctuation in power output.
But the readings weren't giving you a clear picture.
You could explain how you gathered more info, consulted manuals, maybe even reached out to more experienced operators.
And how you weighed the risks and benefits of different actions, always prioritizing safety and stability.
Speaking of safety, the career guide really emphasizes the importance of continuous learning for power plant control room operators.
Technology is always evolving, so staying current is essential. Certifications, workshops, shadowing experienced operators.
There's so many ways to keep learning and growing in this field. And speaking of growth, let's not forget the importance of networking.
Conferences, LinkedIn, professional organizations, it's about building a strong network to support you throughout your career.
Okay, ready to power up your prep with some AI magic? RoleCatcher can help you take things to the next level.
It's like having a personal career assistant helping you tailor your resume, find jobs, and even practice for your interview.
And one of the coolest features is their AI-powered resume builder.
It analyzes job descriptions and suggests keywords to help your resume stand out.
No more getting lost in the black hole of applicant tracking systems. And RoleCatcher can also analyze your skills and experience to match you with jobs that align with your goals.
No more endless scrolling through irrelevant job postings. And my favorite feature, the interview practice tool.
You record yourself answering questions and get AI-powered feedback. It's like having a mock interview with an expert.
But in the comfort of your own home, so whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, RoleCatcher can give you that extra edge.
Welcome back to the final part of our power plant control room operator interview prep deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from those must-know technical details to those tricky behavioral questions.
Now it's time to polish your presentation and make a memorable impression. Remember, it's not just about what you know, it's about how you communicate it.
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI tools can really shine.
We've already touched on the resume builder and job matching, but let's dive deeper into that interview practice tool.
It's like having a virtual mock interview, but with AI analysis. You record your answers,
And RoleCatcher breaks down your performance, giving you feedback on everything. Clarity, conciseness, even your body language and tone of voice.
it can point out things you might not even realize you're doing, like using filler words too often or speaking too quickly when you're nervous.
Right. It's incredibly helpful.
The best part is you can practice as many times as you need. Fine-tune your answers and your delivery until you feel totally confident and ready to nail those interview questions.
It really is like having a personal coach right there in your pocket, helping you become the best version of yourself for that interview.
And speaking of becoming the best version of yourself, the career guide had some great points on professional development that we haven't touched on yet.
One thing that really stood out to me was the emphasis on continuous learning. The power generation industry is constantly evolving, new technologies, regulations, it's all happening so fast.
It's not enough to just get the job. You need to stay ahead of the curve to really build a successful career.
Absolutely. The guide recommends pursuing certifications, attending industry conferences, workshops, even shadowing experienced operators.
Certifications are like gold stars on your resume. They show you've got the specialized knowledge and commitment to professional growth.
The guide specifically mentions the power plant operator certification, electrical safety certification, and control room operator certification as great ones to consider.
And don't underestimate the power of networking.
Right. Attending industry events, connecting with people on LinkedIn.
It can give you such valuable insights, mentorship opportunities, maybe even some job leads.
It's all about building those connections that can support you throughout your career.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, remember, you've got this. You've learned about the job, we've broken down those tough interview questions, and you've even got RoleCatcher's AI to give you an extra boost.
Now it's time to put all that knowledge into action. Prepare thoroughly, practice your answers, and most importantly, believe in yourself. You've got the power to ace that interview and launch a successful career as a power plant control room operator.
Good luck, and thanks for diving deep with us.